And I am back, and this time I am gonna follow up on my previous video where I was talking about how the main event scene is dying out, and I'm gonna talk about the future of the main event in the WWE. I have created a list of current main event roster talent, which I believe the company is trying to build up as their new main eventers, and I am gonna go through each one and tell you why I believe they're a good option or a bad option to be main eventers. Just two quick things, because we are talking about the main event scene and we don't want any more 40-year-old wrestlers that are going to retire in 2 years. My list is strictly young talent. There is a cutoff age, and that age is early 30s. So the oldest wrestler on this list right now is 34 years old. So let's jump the shark already. I've split this video into two sections. First, we are going to talk about the men's division, and then we are going to talk about the women's division. So let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about the men, and the most obvious wrestler to talk about is Braun Breaker. Currently, Braun Breaker is 27 years old. He is the youngest male wrestler on my list, and he is being lined up as the next big thing by the WWE as we speak. He is currently involved in a main event feud with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. It is obvious that the company sees high things for him and they want to push him to the moon. Braun Breaker is a great choice to have as a main eventer as the current roster stands. He is definitely the most entertaining wrestler in the ring right now. His intensity, his moves, and his speed cannot be matched by anybody else. He is also very over with the crowd. Every time he comes out, the dogs are always barking for him. He is a solid option. He is a second-generation wrestler. His family has a proven record of being reliable. His father and uncle were both very successful in this industry, so it's easy to believe that he will also be successful. While he is their best option, there are one or two things that we do have to look out for him. While he is great in the ring and he is good with getting reactions from the crowd, his presentation and his mic skills need some work. If they want this guy to be the face of the company, they're going to need to build up everything. They can't just have him be awesome in the ring and kind of lacking in everything else. He needs to be a fully rounded wrestler that can do everything. He needs to be able to talk. He just needs more time on the mic, and his presentation needs to be fixed up. Maybe change his attire a bit. What he wears now is cool and it fits with his character, but maybe he'll have to change it up and tweak it just a bit. His mic skills are not completely terrible. They are good, but it is the biggest area that he does need to work on. You can tell that he just falls flat in some areas and he needs to work on his delivery. Maybe bring in a little bit more intensity onto his promos. But overall, he is their best option. I had to rate him on a scale from 1 to 5 as how good he is as a future main eventer. As of now, he would be a solid 4. If the company manages to fix those two areas that he needs work on, he can be a solid 5 out of 5 main eventer for the company for a really long time if he decides to stick with the company and continues to wrestle. Moving on to the second individual on my list for the men, it is Dominic Mysterio. Currently is 28 years old. And he is a multiple-time champion. So a great choice to be a future main eventer. He is good in the ring, his presentation is also solid, and his mic skills are solid. And he does get a reaction from the crowd. There are a few areas of improvement, however. One issue I see with Dominic, he will always have to be a heel in some way. I never see him getting over with the crowd as a straight-up babyface. I feel like he will always have to play the character of this disgusting, greasy heel that the fans love to boo. But even with that limitation, he is still a very good option as a main eventer. Just like Braun Breaker, he is a second-generation wrestler. His dad is Rey Mysterio, and the main event could use a solid heel like him. I don't see him ever being like the face of the company. I feel like he will always be like a third or fourth rank main eventer, but he does belong in the main event scene. If he just keeps getting better in the ring with his presentation and his mic skills and finds new ways to get new reactions from the crowd, he will be a solid option for a great heel in the main event scene. Moving on to the third person on my list is Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes right now is 30 years old, so if the company wants to make him a main eventer, they're going to have to move quickly with him. They are giving him a storyline. He is with The Miz right now. I don't know what their plan is with that, but they are giving him something to do. So that's always good. He does have a good look, and he is good in the ring, but he would be like a main eventer in the tag team division. He's not going to be like the top guy. He would be like if Dominic Mysterio is like 4 or 3, Carmelo Hayes would be like rank 6 in the main event. For the last two wrestlers on the male division that I wanted to talk about, it's Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Currently, Jacob Fatu is 33 years old and Solo Sikoa is 32. The reason I want to talk about these two guys at the same time is because they're very similar. Both of them are two of the fastest rising stars in the company. They came in like a year ago, they were nobodies, tag team lackeys, and now they are in a main event storyline. The problem is that while both of these guys have good presentation skills and good mic skills and a good entrance, they're both lacking in the in-ring ability. Both of them have a very boring moveset that gets tiring after a while. While Solo Sikoa is a little bit better because his finisher is somewhat impressive, Jacob Fatu really needs to work on his in-ring ability. His normal moves are boring and nothing to write home about, and his finisher is just boring. He needs to find a new finisher for himself, something that is more impactful and looks more devastating. Jacob Fatu also needs to hit the gym a little bit more, and he needs to cut down if he wants to live up to his character of being an unkillable monster. Solo Sikoa also needs to go to the gym and cut down a bit, but it doesn't limit him as much because his character is not that he's an unkillable monster. So yeah, if they just worked in their in-ring ability, got a little bit better with the mic, and just kept working on their presentation and on their entrances, they would be solid main eventers for the company in the future. Those were my thoughts about the male division and the future main eventers that it holds. Now let's move over to the female division and talk about the future main eventers there. The first two wrestlers I want to bring up for the women's division are Roxanne Perez and Julia. Roxanne Perez is 23 years old and Julia is 31 years old. They have more time to work with Roxanne than Julia, but they both suffer from similar issues. So let's get into it. First of all, the benefits. Roxanne Perez is extremely young, so the company has her for a really long time, and they don't need to rush her. Unfortunately, you can't say that about Julia. She is 31, so she doesn't have as long as Roxanne does. The issue is that both of these girls, since they are very new to the roster, their characters are non-existent right now. This isn't anything to worry about with Roxanne because they're going to have her for a really long time. But for Julia, they really need to lock in and come up with a character for her, for the fans to root for or get behind. Both of them also need help when it comes to their presentation, in-ring, and mic skills. Once again, Roxanne, we're not really worried about her because she is still very young. Julia, they're going to need to focus on her a lot more if they want to build her up as a main eventer. Currently, both of these girls not really doing anything. They're kind of just there just to be there. They need to figure out what they are and who they are so they can give them a good storyline and feud. They just need to be trained up and expanded on so they can actually feel like main eventers. Moving on from Roxanne Perez and Julia, let's talk about the fastest rising star in all of the women's division right now, Jade Cargill. When Jade Cargill first debuted for the company, they made a big deal about her, and I kind of understand why they did that. Jade Cargill has something that the company cannot create, buy, or manufacture. She has that it look. She has a look that is very unique and memorable, and that is something that you cannot buy. It is one of the best things for a wrestler to have, because if they have a memorable and unique look, they got over the hardest thing to get over, and that is connecting with the crowd. There's nobody else in the women's division right now that comes close to how she looks. She can't be replaced because there's only one person that looks like her. Jade Cargill has that China look. She looks like she can break every other woman in half in that locker room. And that is wonderful because that makes her memorable. Her memorability also helps her in other ways. Due to the fact that she has a unique, memorable look, it's much more easier for the company to advertise her and sell tickets around her because she is a must-see attraction. It's not something that everybody sees every day. Her presentation also is very good. She comes out looking like a star. Now, she does have aspects where the company needs to work on. In the beginning, when she showed up, you could easily tell that she wasn't ready to be in that ring. Her in-ring style was not it. She was botchy, she needed help, and she just wasn't ready to take on a one-on-one match. She took some time off, storyline, she got attacked, she came back, and now you can see that there has been improvements in her in-ring performance. It's not amazing, and it's not a 10 out of 10 performance yet, but you can see that there are improvements, which is a great thing because if there are improvements now, there are going to be improvements in the future, and eventually they can get her to be that great in-ring talent. The biggest issue that they have with Jade Cargill, they don't know for how long they're going to have her. She has talked about how the grind and the travel of the business is getting to her, and she doesn't know for how long she wants to be in the WWE. That is the biggest problem that the company is facing right now. That is why they need to pull the trigger right now. If they want to capitalize on her look and her uniqueness, they need to make a main eventer out of her today because they don't know for how long they're going to have her. Talking about my last person on the list, Chelsea Green. She is currently 34 years old, and she is the oldest person I have on this list. The reason I put Chelsea Green here is because she has something every other wrestler right now is lacking in the WWE, and that is character. Chelsea Green plays the character of an annoying diva perfect, and if they just let her keep doing that, she could be a great main event heel in the women's division. Currently doesn't have a lot of great heels that the fans can boo. Chelsea Green is that perfect heel that the fans can boo. She is a bitchy, annoying character that nobody can stand, and she plays it perfectly. If the company allows her to keep doing what she's doing and even expand on it, she would be a great main event heel. Her in-ring abilities are solid, her mic skills are good, and her presentation is also good. So they don't really need to do anything with her but let her be and just expand on her character. And if they do that, she can be a solid main eventer for the handful of years that she might still be in the company. And that was my list. Thank you for watching.